What up, everybody? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It is What the Fuck Wednesday. This is the Upside Down Studios post-election show. Yay. Everybody could breathe a sigh of relief. I heard Sherrod Brown was out in front of Jared's house with a boom box singing time after time outside his window. I'm not sure if that's real or not, but I don't know that. I heard they've been courting each other pretty well during this whole election. And I heard Jared was gonna beat up Bernie Moreno or whatever the fuck his name is, just because he didn't do it. Anyways, hi everybody. I see there was nobody put in chains today. There was no slavery today. No new cotton fields opened up. I see there's still gays out there because they're bitching. There's still trans people out there because they're bitching. There's still babies being killed out there because they're bitching. So, I mean, with all you fucking people out here pissing and moaning about this fucking election already, game's over. All right, we all watched the fucking Super Bowl of America. Red team won. Okay, it's fucking done. It's fucking done. I mean, as a Trump supporter, I'm even fucking tired of hearing it. I mean, Jesus Christ. None of you guys are going to be put in chains. None of you guys are going to be... And for you fucking people who keep touting this 2025 bullshit, because it's still, even though it was debunked, it's still being talked about and still being pushed out there. And that's why the gays are so scared. Again, I put the post out earlier. I'll tell it to the world live. Show me the paragraph and the page, because I have 2025 downloaded. It's on a PDF. I tried to read it looking for all this good shit, all this horror porn that was supposed to be in this fucking document that was never fucking there. So I had to go to audiobook to fucking listen to the rest of that shit. Give me a fucking break. One thing I did find out, though, since you guys love to fucking still bring it up, one of the founding fathers of the Heritage Foundation, something Edwards, look it the fuck up, endorsed Kamala Harris, fuck faces. Ugh. That being said, Trump supporters, don't be dicks neither. We're better than that. I mean, honestly, hopefully we'll get a better economy. Hopefully shit will kind of normalize again. We'll get some funny shit on the news, but ain't much going to really change. Fucking be real about it. Now, as much racism that I hear talked about on the book today, because I refuse to go on the other social medias. This gets played on other social medias, but I'm just, this right here is enough. I've seen more racism and ignorant hate speech come out of my melanated people than out of anyone else. And this is directly, I at least feel, attributed to the fucking media. Because I can never remember a time in history, at least that I can remember, that they break down the polls by race. Now, I'm sure it was probably public knowledge. And if you looked it up at any time, you could have seen, what race, the accumulation percentage voted for who. But it wasn't blatantly put out there. So this morning, what I saw was black women blaming black men for not voting for Kamala Harris, and that's why she lost. So by midday, black men countering with the fucking breakdown that is on damn near every fucking news post that said white women are the reason that, that Kamala Harris lost. So now it's all the hate got switched over. Well, we got these little snowflake white girls trying to defend them when they're still telling them they're pieces of shit. Look, this divide is bullshit, man. If you thought that bitch was working for you because of her skin tone, what about Hakeem Jeffries? That's another thing. And I want to put this out. I kept my mouth shut because I don't agree with Hakeem Jeffries' views at all. But that man should have been the Democratic nominee. That man is the Speaker of the House. That man should have been next in line because we all know Kamala's in charge right now. There should have been at least a debate between them two. And he's a black man, an American black man who went to school here in America. There is no, well, what race is he, what this and that. You can't pull none of that shit. And the fact that Nancy Pelosi vowed to come back and take her position back if Donald Trump became president, that means fuck Hakeem Jeffries again. But nobody's saying shit about that. Rainbow Warriors out there. Whether you believe it or not, I am still an ally. You are still people to me. We still fucking love you. We just don't want the shit pushed on nobody. You don't want our straightness pushed on you. We don't want the rainbow pushed on us. After that, you're just another fucking American. The only thing that was even close to going back to the 2025 was they don't want the trans folks and all that woke shit in the schools, which I agree with. None of that shit should be in the schools to begin with. You don't do it maliciously. You don't start bullying people. You don't start singling people out. You go back to fucking being a school. That being said, this bullshit is over. I'm going to let the guys on the panel give their thoughts about everything, and then we're going to move on to some other fuck shit that's been going on while everybody's been having their eye on this stupid-ass election. So with that being said, let me bring in the guys. First, our foreign correspondent from the tundra of honor-killing Canada. Please bring in Dino the genetic motherfucking marvel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the future. Bro. This is the funniest shit I've ever watched in my life. Like, look, the whole world follows the U.S. election because the ramifications are worldwide.
Right.
At the same time, best season ever. Damn.
The season finale, even
season
left
finale
with a cliffhanger.
Bro,
there's still a cliffhanger because all the votes still aren't counted yet. There's still sketchinesses on the machines,
bro.
And Kamala Harris still got to certify that fucking paperwork. That's gonna be the kicker in the ass. That's gonna be
how bad.
Episode. That's
how
gonna
bad
be
would that burn her ass too, though, right? And bro, let alone you know what? Bring everybody else in. It's fine. I'm just like Joe Biden's wife went to the polls wearing all red.
I got
and then
they both voted fucking.
And even bro, the last 3 weeks, Biden has been destroying her campaign. He's like, yeah, Trump's people are garbage. Garbage wouldn't show up, would they? And you're like, there you go. Then he threw on the MAGA hat. You're like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what he was doing.
Next in line, we got our local don't fucking tread on me with any fucking president. Taxes are fucking theft, which I agree with. And just ex-anarchist, because I don't think you could be an anarchist and a pawpaw at the same time. We've seen too much of the heart, big man. So we'll give it up for Big Sniz himself.
What's up, everybody?
And I had to come in so you can hear Jared.
What did you call? What did you say? You can't be an anarchist and a
Greg. Huh?
And
what did you say? You can't be an anarchist and a what at the same time?
And a pawpaw.
Yes, fuck you can.
I seen Pawpaw. There was no anarchy in Pawpaw. There was nothing but love and cupcakes.
You don't know what anarchy is. Anarchy is not about fuck you. It's about associating with like-minded people. It's nothing but love.
There was no
hate's elsewhere
in the cupcake. There was no kind of foul or anything in the cupcake.
Anarchy is real anarchy is just no masters, no rulers. It's not.
You hear
Let's just fucking annihilate everybody.
Okay. On that point specifically, though,
Fuck it, that's
like
how I feel.
when with the results, all you're seeing is there's all of America and 4 big cities that are like, no, you have to do it our way. I guess not.
Yeah, but no, we don't.
You can eat that. No, well, hold on. But nothing good comes out of big cities. They're a drain on taxpayers. They're a drain on people's mental health. They're a drain on the economy. They're a drain on public funding. They're a drain on the people in them because
they're a drain on the environment.
They're a drain on the environment. I'm sorry. Why should anyone follow you? You're the problem. Everybody spread out. Go somewhere else.
Agreed.
Spread out. Who's in football?
He's right.
Yeah. Hey, 6 feet, social distancing. Everybody fuck off. Okay? How about that?
Ridiculous.
Hey, on your point earlier, too, about people not being dicks, the only thing worse, just to be very clear to everybody, the only thing worse than a sore loser, such as someone who doesn't give a concession speech after they lose, something like that, that would be horrible. But the only thing worse than that is a sore winner. So get back to work. You don't need to say anything. It's been said. Okay.
You won. Throw a couple memes out there, or whatever. Don't be a douchebag and roll the fuck on. That's it. That's it.
And you know what?
The problem with that is, and why that won't happen is because there are so many people in both camps that this is their entire identity.
Yeah.
It is who they are. So they don't know how to not like that's and
it's a problem.
Kind of like it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your identity is a politician or an actor or like whatever. If it's not something selfish, because it's your identity, right?
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be selfish. You're supposed to be you.
But that's the problem is there's no reason why anyone should be hogtied into being something else other than themselves. Right. And that's 100%. What we're hearing is people aren't allowed to have their own opinion. Even that's been a big issue between the legitimate community, because if they disagree, they get turned on instantly, and you're going, hold on. Aren't we all supposed to be about love and everything else? No, you're not. I have to do what you say, otherwise I'm a bastard. I'm sorry, that's not how life works.
I witnessed something. God, it was something out of the Twilight Zone, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched
that happens a lot these days.
A straight white liberal male.
Yeah.
Who I am very good friends with. When you separate him from his politics, he's an absolutely amazing human being, and I love the guy to death. He's a huge fucking teddy bear. But I watched him argue with a trans woman who's more like-minded with us as far as like politics and like, no, we don't need, I don't think we need to teach this in 2nd grade. Like, you know what I mean? Like very much like-minded like us. And very much goes, listen, I'm not a fucking woman and I will never be a fucking woman.
Sure.
I'm a fucking trans woman. Like, I'm not going to take away from what women go through. Plus, I don't identify with that because I had to go through this as a trans woman, not as a real woman.
Right.
Like, totally, you make
that's fair.
I dig you. I got it. Right. But I watched this guy argue till he about had a stroke and a heart attack, how she was wrong. And I'm like, bro,
that don't make no sense.
She's the queer one. Listen to her.
This is okay, and this is the whole thing is there was a gay guy who went into the a school district hearing and was like, I'm sorry, the pride flag is about sex. That has no place in a school, period. That's the pride flag is about sexuality. If you're not going to allow everyone's flag, 100% you shouldn't be having a one about sex. That doesn't make any sense. And then they're like, how dare you? He's like, I'm sorry, I'm gay. It's my flag. And I'm telling you, you're wrong.
It's like the story I've told 100 times. It was, I don't know, I remember how long ago. I was a much younger man and I was hanging out in a club with some homies. One of my homies happened to be gay, but we were standing there chilling and somebody came in and they were dressed. I mean, it was just weird, right? Like fucking out of place, awkward. And
sure,
somebody in the group made the comment that oh, that's fucking gay. Again, a straight white woman
can't say that.
Me the riot act. Yep, about how I could not say that, and
how dare you use that language?
How would you like it if you're? And my dude looks right at her and goes, "I'm going to tell you something. I suck dick, and that outfit's fucking gay."
Bro, I realized this a while ago. I'm like, I'm sorry.
How are you going to argue with him? You're a straight person. How are you going to argue with him? You're offended. He's not. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it.
You don't. Hey, if we're going to play that game where if you don't have a fucking horse in the race, you don't get an opinion, then what? Then shut up. Just shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. Right? Because listen, I've even said this to other people. I'm like, I don't like overly effeminate women who are like, ew, that's gross. No, you're not an adult. Go fuck yourself. Why am I going to like a gay guy who's like that? No, you're gay. Okay. What does that have to do with anything? That's your own private business. That has nothing to do with anything else. You're trans. Good for you for finding your identity. What does that have to do with me? I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with that.
I got into a debate with one of my friends.
That's what they say the whole argument's about, that it doesn't have anything to do with us, that it's about them, but they always try and make it about us.
Right. And that's the issue. Like I won't even say an argument. It was a debate with one of my friends that I've known since I was a kid, and he's gay, and I know his old man, and he's a comedian, and he's also a police officer. And when he couldn't fucking find anything else,
comic cop, fuck, that's the trifecta right there. Don't ever let me meet this person. Jesus Christ,
that's a lot of material.
He had nothing left in the fucking debate. So then it's like you always bring up that I'm gay, or you always say, I was like, so what? You're gay. That's not a fad anymore. Big deal. You want a bag of Skittles? That has nothing to do with the fucking argument. You're not going to fucking sidetrack me with your fucking rainbow, dude. The shit is old.
Oh, you get sidetracked by the rainbow all the time, Marco. It's just usually to the back room.
Ain't nothing wrong with looking at the rainbow as long as
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it, bro. Now listen, I won't say there was anything wrong with it.
Look, hey, I had this argument with somebody last night when we were doing election coverage. And they were like, is it because she's a woman that you don't want to elect? I'm like, no. It's the same argument for movie leads where people are like, there aren't enough women leads. No. Sigourney Weaver. So one of the greatest female leads ever. Okay.
Badass. Smoking fucking hot and alien.
Hey, and I kind of would worry about getting a punch for her. She looks like she could throw down.
I would too.
What's her face from Atomic Blonde? Charlize Theron. Fantastic. That's top tier movies. So don't, and they're like, I'm like, no. What the problem is, you're saying that the standards have to drop because you're a woman. That's ridiculous and horribly sexist. No, you have to elevate yourself to qualify to be lead. Not the same thing. Because you know what? Not all men are leading actors. Sorry.
That's not only my concern, but it is also has been voiced by a good majority of service members.
Yeah.
Bro, women are not held to the same physical standards that men are, but they're deployed to the same conditions that men are.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here saying women can't do it. Don't put words in my mouth. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you are taking the chance of sending people who, if it was a man that couldn't push that weight, if it was a man that couldn't do that amount of pull-ups, you wouldn't trust him in combat.
Exactly.
Why do you trust
that creates a weakness? That creates a weakness and a weak link in the environment. That's fair, right?
Right. And I'm not like I said, I'm not saying don't have women, but I'm asking the question, if it is about having the most fit and capable service members, then why are we making exceptions for anyone?
This is the whole thing. Why are those criteria first established? Because that is the requirement to be a cohesive part of the team.
Unit. Right.
You know what I mean? The boy band. It's fine. The point is this. Sorry, I couldn't resist. But it's like, look, but so you're saying, oh, well, we have to drop the standards because you're a woman. Number one, that's sexist as fuck. And if anything, that promotes mad inequality. No, you want to be equal? Good. Same standards. And listen, especially now, like you see some people and you're going, yeah, okay, you're competent. Great. But like, look, you're going to put a fucking welterweight against Mike Tyson? No, because they'll die. I'll watch it because it's awesome.
Female cops. Like, I don't care about your...
thinks he's going to win.
No, bro, don't even. We're going live for that because I'm like, I want to watch it and react to it at the same time because it's gonna be hilarious. Pure joke.
But I've said the same thing about female officers, bro. Like, listen, there is just a certain point where I don't even care about your gun or your taser because you can't be certain that you're always going to be able to get to that. But if a dude like me is on a mission, and thankfully I'm not that person, but if my intent and my will was to do you harm.
Sorry.
Some of these little girls that pulled me over, man, they would be annihilated. There's no way around it.
Bro, I got pulled over.
Have you seen that clip that goes around, the reel that goes around where the two it's like Thailand or something. That big, huge, untrained dude gets his 2 gloves on and they're in gear and everything. And they're trained MMA fighters. They're in there trying to fucking kick this dude, punch it. This dude just blows right through everything. He's like, go ahead, hit me. Blows through their defense and just annihilates these broads.
And he was so fat and out of shape.
He's your size, Dino.
No, he's bigger than me. He's bigger than I used to be, just shorter.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Actually, I was going to say he was your old side. What I meant to say. And he just manhandled them.
Like, look, I remember I was driving my wife's Versa, the Nissan Versa, which is a tiny car. Okay, I got pulled over, and the cop goes, "I go, listen, officer, I can't see 100%." So I'm like, every time I get pulled over, I turn off the car, put the keys on the dash, and put my hand through the steering wheel. He comes up, I go, listen, officer, I can't reach my wallet. I'm too fat. So I have to get out of the car to get my wallet. I just can't reach it. And he goes, okay, well, use both hands. I'm like, bro, if I could use both hands to open the car door, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I have to get out. You can see both my hands. As I'm getting out, I'm halfway out of the car. And this guy he puts his hand back on his gun. And he's like, what the fuck are you? And takes 2 steps into traffic. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just a person. I'm just very large. Let's just calm down. Just step out of traffic.
Said, what the fuck are you?
Yeah, and I'm like, just relax.
You thought you were a bear,
bro. I go, look, I'm 2 fingers. Here. I'm just using 2 fingers. Just calm. I'm like, you're in traffic, bro. Just can you move from traffic? Like you're in danger. Calm down. You know. And he was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, listen, I had to explain this when I was working. I'm like, yo,
Sasquatch just stole a Fiat,
bro. Like that was. I'm like,
just stole a Fiat 500.
Hey. When my dad was going to buy me a car, I found a Fiat 500. I'm like, hey, Dad, if I can get it, if it's under $5,000, will you buy it for me? He's like, I'll 100% buy it just to watch you fucking drive a Fiat 500. It's fucking hilarious. And I'm like, I called the guy and he's like, I want 20 grand. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking
Shut
great.
The fuck up.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, you can't.
That would
it's
have
funny
been,
as
oh my God, that would have been glorious.
Oh, like, can you imagine? Like, I have a cousin who has a Fiat 500 with the cabriolet, the leather top. I was in the passenger seat. My hand was on his door and my shoulder was outside of this door. Why do I think it looks
like something out of Twins?
Guy, I could see the road from outside the car.
That movie with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
100%. That's hey, he's 4'8". I have my hand across his chest on his door. My shoulder is outside of the window. I'm looking at the road from outside of the car. I'm like, bro, if you hit a low tree, I'm fucked. And he's like, don't worry, it's good. He's like, we pull up. I didn't even get in that. I'm like, I'm like, I don't even know what's gonna happen. I want to get out. It's raking.
All right. So
Yeah.
to end the whole discussion on the whole election bullshit and all that and the rights and all that. Fuck, I forget where I was going with that. All right,
Welcome to the future.
Oh, okay,
Here's
okay.
where
So
I'm
here
at
it goes.
with that. If I can,
Go ahead. I'll get the final thought after you say what you said.
Okay, you do the. Most of the people bitching right now, unfortunately, they don't understand how government actually works. They don't understand. I don't think most of them have ever had a civics class. The things they're afraid of can't happen without a lot of other things happening. It's not like one person can wave a magic wand and do a whole bunch of this shit. That's why we have checks and balances.
That's Hogwarts, bro.
Why we have a constitution. Like that's the issue. And the biggest issue I see is that the majority, and the majority of the left doesn't give two fucks about the U.S. Constitution.
True.
They have their idea of how they want to see the world, and it is the end. They're very Machiavellian. The ends justify the means.
Yeah.
So if we can get to the state we want, it doesn't matter how we get there. Fuck the Constitution. And unfortunately, the world doesn't work like that. Like there luckily are enough people that are like, no, fuck you. There's a Constitution. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but those people don't actually give two fucks about what America is supposed to be. They have an idea of they want to save every fucking puppy in the fucking pound, and you just can't do that. You can't do that as a nation. You can't do that as any big thing. You can do that as an individual person sometimes, but even when you do that, you end up fucking yourself more than anything else because you get into bad situations you never should have been in and do things you never should have fucking done. But you sure as fuck can't do it as a business. You can't do it as a community, and you sure as fuck can't do it as a country.
Yeah.
You as a country have limited fucking resources. Period. And it doesn't matter how big your heart is. Your wallet and your ability to provide physically is limited. Period. It's fucking limited. Now it might be grand, but it's fucking limited. And we still can't even take care of our own house.
Right.
And they don't give a fuck.
But that's the problem is they view that idea of America as an enemy. And you're like, well, that's giving you the freedom that you have to say what you want. So if you're going to abandon that, like people don't understand the ramifications of this whole thing where they're like, oh, you don't need the Constitution. You're like, no. The Constitution is there to protect you. It's not like, look, the fact is that people don't have rights.
Another country, people.
Right. And that's the appeal of America to me. I'm like, no. That's where the little guy still gets to fight. And I can appreciate that. That's the problem with the rest of the world is only the big people get to fight. And that's not fair. Right.
But here's the thing. I want to point something out. We get to fight, but do you realize even at a local level, say like a township trustee,
right?
Or like a county commissioner.
Sure.
You have to have a bond and at least $100,000 to prove that you can run a campaign before you can get on a ballot.
Right. Which is, and that's the problem, right?
And like I said, that's for township trustee. That's for county commissioner. Now, what do you think it is? I don't know the numbers, but what do you think it is for a senator, a congressman, presidential? It's something so unattainable that the little guy doesn't have a chance to fight in that ever.
Yeah. And that's the problem was
why we have the Constitution.
Yeah.
Because the Constitution doesn't limit the citizens. The Constitution limits the government. Anything not expressly conveyed in that document to be the responsibility of the federal government, if it's not expressly written that it's their responsibility, it's not. It defaults to the states. Period.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to work.
And that's
Right.
the problem, is that it's not being treated that way or handled that way, for at least for the last some time. And that's why the big hope about this change is the idea that we're like, okay, let's get back to business as it used to be, so we can try and figure this shit out, because shit's fucked. Let's call it as it is, right? Shit's been fucked for a long time,
Shit's
and it's
really
a problem, right?
Right. And
So,
you know what? It is. And it's been both sides have fucked us in different ways
100%.
over all these years. I mean,
100%.
I only have a living working knowledge, okay, experiential knowledge of Reagan and after.
Yeah.
Like to be, I mean, I was born before
Yeah.
that, but to actually have,
Yeah.
witnessed and remember how things were, Reagan and after. And I know since then, I mean, I remember when that motherfucker came on the television and said there are no homeless people in America. Like, a president actually got behind a podium with his seal on it and said that on live TV. And there were people that believed it.
Yeah, because that's when news was.
But like 2 days before that, we had gone to Columbus to go to the big. My dad took us to a fancy restaurant, for brunch on a Sunday, and we had beggars hitting us up the whole time we were there. So don't tell me they don't exist. Like, since then, it's steadily gotten worse. The only one that even came close to trying to flip the script back the other way, even close. And I really hate to say this, like, as far as his policies, and was fucking Clinton.
Right. You mean Clinton, the first black president of the United States?
But it's true.
Yeah. All right, so
yeah, he actually was blacker than Barack, wasn't he?
Bro, come on.
Here's something that happened behind the scenes.
Calls him like I sees him.
Be directly affecting January 6th, coming up with the whole certification and Trump becoming president. Behind the scenes, while everybody was doing this,
I'm waiting to see how this motherfucker plays out.
For you people out there who are, and we all know you're going to do it, who are going to protest this vote. For you people that are going to Washington and think you're going to protest this vote, you have every right to. Just like the people last January 6th. You don't have the right to fuck shit up, but you got a right to be there and protest.
You have the right to teabag Nancy Pelosi's 100. Business chair. That's what you
now. The problem with that is now. Yeah. And what not very many people know, because
you cut out. Did you say TP stuff?
No, teabag Nancy Pelosi's chair.
There has been a DOD directive that has been passed, and the DOD directive
the National Guard's going to be there, home slice.
Yeah, and they're allowed to shoot people now.
There's already. Bro, the National Guard's already on standby, and there is already a 82nd Airborne Battalion there, and a Ranger Regiment.
And they all with the DOD.
They're on standby. They're ready to rock and roll, dude.
They are
doing this again.
You are
They're
not
start
allowed
shooting
to have
motherfuckers.
any kind of military force against Americans on American soil. Like,
it's like an escape from New York. We have authorized the use of live ammunition.
Yeah. So if you're going to protest,
on the phone.
Make sure you're safe. Make sure you're out the way. You have every right as an American to protest, even though you'll be protesting against, my team. That isn't the point. You have every right to protest and not be a fucktard, but to show you, what you do. Just be careful, because there's a lot of trigger happy people, and there's a lot of ways that could be spun if one of y'all gets shot. So that was one of the things that was behind the scenes that got pushed through.
I got to point something out. You're late.
Who's late?
You're late, Marco.
I know you talked about it a while ago.
No, look at the top corner.
Top corner.
The time, my friends. The time.
The time. The time.
No cocks tonight. The Rainbow Brigade is already in full force meltdown.
No,
we don't need to be touching.
You're not
tips
doing
today.
That's the only reason I came. Fuck this. I'm out.
Okay,
Bro.
so something else. I'm sure you guys heard of this up in Canada. Fucking Peanut and
I don't
Fred.
know, man. Their
Bro.
internet is censored,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Oh,
Remember.
they're allowed to hear about animals up in Canada. Peanut
Okay.
and Fred is fucked up.
We talked about it on Monday on my
About-
other show
we talked about
because it's fucking asshole. So the whole thing was you're going, listen, it's every time that people are like, oh, the government wouldn't do that, bro. They barged into an animal sanctuary because of a complaint, a licensed one for a complaint for a lady in Texas, the other side of the goddamn country, because she didn't like that they had more followers than her. I'm sorry. That lady needs to go to jail. She has mental problems.
Ass whooping at bare minimum.
No. Behind the dumpster, whoop her ass, baseball bat to the knee. Fuck that bitch.
No, she
She
needs to be
swatted
sanctioned,
somebody, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, she needs to be covered in acorns and get attacked by fucking
She
raccoons
violated
and
the
squirrels.
sanctity of someone's fucking domicile.
And the fact that look,
seriously,
this is what
even
got
if
me.
no one's injured, even if nothing's even stolen. No, wait. Do you know why breaking and entering is prosecuted and like investigated so much? Because it's considered a heinous crime. Because the violation of the sanctity of your dwelling. That's again, we're talking a constitutional right. That is a grievous violation. Like,
even
that's
police
just as
can't
bad
go
as
into your
when the
house
judge
without a
looked at
warrant.
me and goes, you don't have rights on the stand in my courtroom. Like, I had a fucking Mahoning County judge tell me that.
Which, that's insane, right? That's the problem is, like, I explained to somebody else was, I'm like, listen, when you're dealing with a police officer, say in a traffic situation, you got to understand that all you're doing is talking to a secretary. They just have a
100%.
gun, but they don't know anything. And that's why you just go, okay, yep. I'll handle it in court. I don't have to have this. No, it's fine. Yes, sir. No problem. Hey, I just need to finish this process and move the fuck on because you have no idea of how the law works or any of that stuff. And that's the reality of it.
They don't know the law. If you want to know something about the law, you talk to a lawyer, not a fucking cop.
Right.
See,
right.
That's why I'm like, listen, that's why I'm of the belief that I'm like, if you're a police officer or a lawyer or a judge and you break the law, you should be held doubly, if not quadruply accountable because you should know better. I'm just some guy. I have no idea what's happening. Right. But the fact is, as soon as it became profitable to ticket people, well, as soon as it became, what's a law? But look, as soon as it became profitable to write people tickets, oh, well, that's the law. Hey, man, did I kill anybody? Get the fuck out of here. I have other things to do.
It doesn't
eat my ass. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Like, dude,
the wild thing was, and now mind you, everybody knows about the fuck shit they're doing with the whole illegals in New York. Everybody's heard the stories. Everybody knows. I mean, deny it if you want. We all know about it. When they went into that house, they threw him on the ground. They sat his wife down and started questioning her immigration status.
Yep.
Dude, that fucking blew my fucking mind.
This goes far beyond even euthanizing a squirrel and a raccoon. Like, and this is an example of the liberal government doing exactly what they said a conservative government is going to do to you.
Isn't that wild? By the way, New York, this is the closest time.
I would just like to point out that they both do it. It's been done by both. So, I mean, you know.
But hey, also
although
to
the
point out,
biggest FBI botches in history were all under Democrat leads. Ruby Ridge.
hey, but
Waco.
the biggest thing is that this is the first time in 30 years that New York was so close to actually going red. They actually put that on the news. And as well, I want to point this out. This came out in Canadian news on Instagram that Putin has already reached out and said he's happy to sit down with new President Trump.
See, now over here in the
Immediately.
news over here, they're
Yeah.
saying that Putin don't want nothing to do with Trump.
Lies. Bro, they're homies. What are you talking about? You know
Yeah,
why? Hey, because they're both fucking affected. They're both like, I'll shoot you too, motherfucker. Come on. Right? That's a game of chicken that everyone wants to watch. Fine. It's true, though.
Fucking A, right.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. And then you know what I seen earlier? I got to look into it, but I mean, I've only seen a couple articles on it, and there's still not very much information on it. But supposedly back in I think it's 82, the Ukraine handed over a bunch of nuclear weapons.
Yep.
Nobody says where they came from to Russia, so Russia would never invade them.
The agreement was that so NATO was never supposed to pass into East Germany. So West Germany was the border. And Ukraine said, listen, you get your freedom, we get our nukes back, but you're not allowed to join NATO. That was historically, that was the deal on paper, legitimately. So you're like, hey, the aggressor here is NATO and the United States. There's no, like, this is factual. And everyone's like, no, Russia's crazy. You're like, no, Russia is fully within their power. And this is already an agreement of between countries. None of this should be happening.
And let's be real. Let's just fucking be real. If Putin really wanted to take Ukraine, Ukraine would have been decimated before NATO could have got a fucking plane off the ground. They're close with enough weaponry to hit us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come the fuck on, be real. If Putin was really doing that shit the way everybody says he's doing that shit.
Wait a second with that though. Wait a second with that though. I get what you're saying, but even a crazy motherfucker like Putin knows that if he goes full retard on a little country like the Ukraine, no matter what, that the rest of the world will strike back over something like that.
Exactly.
That keeps him in check.
Everybody's thinking that he doesn't have sense like that. Everybody's thinking, no, he's just doing this and he's going to keep doing it and he's going to keep doing it.
He's got sense, but he's also
crazy Russian. So, but this is the thing is that it ultimately
will. I mean, there's also a little bit of an egomaniac in him, but like, you know, whatever.
But
Jared,
the point
you got
is,
a big flag going on there.
Yeah, something's wrong with Jared. Jared's been hit by the NSA instead of Marco. So like this is the thing is, if Russia wanted to destroy Ukraine, they could have nuked it, but they don't want to do that. What they're doing is they're making sure that Ukraine can't have any influence in that area, right? So the idea is all you're doing is making it harder for Ukraine to function,
right?
And Crimea, they're like, yeah, great, it's great land. We're growing food on it. Eat shit.
That's all you have to do. You just chew them. You just keep grinding them slow.
Yeah, that's the difference. Is Russia
slow on them,
bro? The Cold War lasted because Russia is all long game, and Putin is king of the long game, bro. He's been in power for how long? The only person who's been in power longer is fucking Queen
Queen
Elizabeth.
Very long time,
right?
Yeah, he outlived the Lizard Queen.
Right.
It's Lizard Queen first, Gaddafi, then Putin are the ones who've seen more new presidents and fucking prime ministers than anyone else. That's the fucking truth.
Right.
And it's no difference than the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's just the shoes on the other foot, and everyone's going, yeah, but it's a Russian shoe. Yeah, well, they walk in the snow. It's quite nice. They're comfortable shoes.
Right. I mean, that is 100% correct.
Something else that happened behind the
people
scenes.
do not, especially Americans, do not have a clue what
but a lot
international politics are. Like, really, they don't. They barely have a clue of politics outside of this dumbass presidential election and all the Sherrod Brown commercials.
Accurate.
Like that's their. They have no idea what, you know.
Sherrod Brown was outside
what,
Jared's
how
house
long and how
boombox singing time after time.
Look, but that's
that's Sherrod Brown. Sherrod Brown put signs out in my front yard.
He missed his you.
Seriously, look, all the shit I talked, just joking around, and somebody showed up and put Sherrod Brown signs all over my fucking yard. I'm going to. I just wanted to put it out there. Yeah. Kate did that.
Oh, Cole's like Sherrod Brown fucked my baby mama.
It was great. I pulled in the driveway, and I was like, what the fuck? They were everywhere.
Bro, that's a good prank, though. You got to admit.
They were everywhere. It was awesome.
That's savage.
A lot of baby mamas, evidently.
I mean, why buy the cow? You get the milk for free. I think I get it. Fine. Somebody else's cow. He went stealing milk. It's fine. I get it. Works.
Oh my God, I had a brain fart on
cattle rustling ain't a crime in these parts.
Bro, this is the thing is like the only bad part about America is you guys have been the main character for too long that a lot of people became stupid, right? That's what it is, because you're like, well, I'm the main character. I don't need to know anything. You're like, no, you need to. That's like,
no,
you should.
That's not it. That's not it.
It's
That's not it. That's not it at all.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Here's what it is. How long has France been a country? Like
France is barely a country right now. What are you talking about? This is
listen,
bro. Come on.
Listen, though. Historically, go back history. We're not even counting. I'm not even counting shit like China and all that. But then Spain, 500 years. England, 800 years.
Yeah.
The United States, 248. We are 16-year-olds that think we're 16-year-olds that think we fucking know everything already, but we really don't know shit yet.
Hey, Greg, can you put up that comment so I can tell Cole to go fuck himself? Because I'll stab him right in the face. He just said France is the original Greece. I'll cut you. I will cut you. I know where you live. I will come to your house and I'll beat you like a redheaded stepchild that you are, you dirty fuck. No, but look, that's the whole thing, is that America is young. I mean, I hate him right now.
We're young, dumb, and full of cum. I mean, we're teenagers. We're sowing our wild oats. We don't know what direction to go. Like, and you got to remember, some of our states haven't been around that long. That 248 years is like the 13 original fucking colonies that became states, bro. Like, there's states that became states less than 100 years ago. Like, also, we really don't know shit about being a country yet.
You're young people who are like, oh, they got a lot of black friends too, so they're not really making good choices. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. It's just a fucking good joke, bro.
But yeah, but then, you know, we're also influenced by, you know,
the gays. No.
Cast from the bar from Star Wars that just streams in and out of the fucking country.
Yeah, like, listen, that's the one thing that I really am looking forward to, is locking down some of the fucking shit that's going on, because like, look, that stuff that was happening with
one of the
well, I think we lost him.
I think he just had a brain fart.
Did he freeze up?
No,
right?
Dino's lagging. That's why I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
We're fine. It's you. It's you. That's those young Americans need to have a lot of
okay. Yeah. Jews and ninjas.
Those are bad influences, bro. Those are bad influences. They're gonna steal your girl. That's how that works, man. That's what they did.
Listen,
your girl.
Listen, that's the whole. Listen, that's the whole.
One king with a big wiener. The other one's like money and coke. And you're like,
NWA. Listen, NWA it was their Jewish accountant that was stealing from them. He broke up the band. Look, it's how it works, bro.
Oh. Hey, all I know is somebody sent me a picture that said presidents are temporary, Wu-Tang is forever. And I'm like,
forever.
What?
Yeah.
Gangster. This is
it's the truth.
Apparently,
you can't have more than 8 years of one of those motherfuckers. So,
you know, the U.S. is prepping like an all-out prep. We've already been prepped for it. You know, they've been talking about it, but this is like, you know, they're on whatever DEFCON before they hit that last light. About to attack Iran.
I don't think there's preparation for that.
Like they're straight, anyway. You know,
we're going at Iran,
and they're going to start this war up before the new presidency. I mean, the war's already going, but we're going to be involved, like as officially, because we all know we already got our dicks in the sand over there.
Steal your girl and your roller quarters. That's fucking savage. But no, but this is the thing is right now, a lot of people are talking about how like Biden is angry with look, Biden, there was a coup on Biden. He got screwed, right? He was legitimately elected in the primary.
No, he didn't.
And he got ousted. He got ousted, man.
There you go.
Look, hey, no, but there was no primary
He
win
got
for Kamala
ousted
Harris.
because but he didn't really get screwed. I think more like he got saved.
Oh, yeah.
Listen,
well, okay.
Listen, I see it differently. I took care of my dad. I took care of my dad when he had dementia, and I'm just gonna say I have been pissed off. When he declined so much, like, dude, I laid off making jokes. I wouldn't because I'm like, dude, they're
elder abuse. 100%
they're abusing this dude. He needs to be the fuck out of here. And
I agree.
Honestly, they spared themselves, but I mean, they did it for selfish reasons. But in all of that, it was like the blessing in disguise. He got spared.
So, but realistically,
because
you and I both know, having dealt with people with dementia, is the fact is they're not thinking on all cylinders either. So you piss them off, you got that retard strength coming out, right? They get angry and they just get fucking right.
Fuck, dude.
So,
dude, they get so vile. Like,
but the fact is, that's the thing is, like, look, they had a coup. They threw her in there, which is insane because she's horrible. I'm of the opinion that Biden didn't want to leave. Oh, 100%. Why would he want to? Right? Like, so was he capable? No. And half of his term was elder abuse. There's no question.
That's my point. It doesn't matter if he wanted to leave or not. It's the fact that like he was that far out that, like, you know, if it was somebody else, they would be under investigation right now.
Oh, for sure. Hey, did his son go to jail? What happened with his son?
That's
said it himself. The reason why they didn't prosecute Joe Biden is because he's just a doddering old man with a memory that's going.
I have a question. What if it's an act?
That's what I said from day one.
It's a good act.
Hey, every politician is an actor. There's no question, right? And they're full of shit. So
damn good act. I'm not.
It's like
it could be.
I said that a while ago. You know, when all the shit was hitting the fan with the laptop and it was coming out about fucking you know, all the dirty dealings that was going on, then magically the decline started. You know, magically, and it went downhill quick. Now, on the other hand, looking at both sides of the argument, I've witnessed, you know, that side of it. I witnessed Jared taking care of his dad. You know, I've had family members go through it. So, you know, I see both sides of it, but it's mighty coincidental that when the shit started hitting the fan, Papa's brain started going.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily that much stress. I mean, that's what my dad was in decline, but what caused like there's always a point in time where there's a switch that's flipped that makes it different, right? When you're in cognitive decline like that. And my dad's decline was one thing, and that's why we didn't notice it at first, because he was such a bad alcoholic that we just thought he was drunk all the time.
Right.
But it was when my stepmother died, that was the switch. Overnight, his decline became dementia, literally overnight.
Yeah.
So I agree there's coincidences, but it does follow the pattern of the disease. But I'm also going to say, sure, we could be snowed by that. Absolutely. That we all know that in Washington, the tail wags the dog.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and also too, like, Cheney's daughter lost by like 40 points in her riding, which I'm like, suck it.
Fucking Adam Schiff won. I couldn't believe Adam fucking Schiff won. Like even in the debate, like his debate had to have been, it was the Trump debate this year. You know, the fucking Garvey Schiff fucking debate was great. When Garvey looked at Schiff and said, "There you go again. You wake up in the morning and you think of Trump. In the middle of the day, you think of Trump. At night, before you go to bed, you think of Trump. You're supposed to be in charge of all these people, and all you think about is Donald Trump." That's
crazy. Sugar is the leading cause of dementia. That motherfucker eats ice cream like I could only hope to eat. Bro, but this is the thing, okay? Like, realistically, I remember people
They're
were
just
like,
feeding them
"Oh,
loads
I'm going
of
to be a
white
Democrat." I'm
people.
like, "Listen, it has nothing to do with it being a woman. It has everything to do with a quality of leader. Because you know what? If it was Tulsi Gabbard on the other ballot, there's a good chance you would have. Because you imagine RFK and Tulsi Gabbard being the Democratic side, people would have voted for that, and they wouldn't side with it. You're going, why? Because they actually make sense. That's
Yeah.
why. That's the problem. Is that crazy wants crazy in the White House, and you're like, yeah, not any. Sorry, no thanks. We want crazy
That's
a different way.
Yeah, it especially this time around. I think in years past, in elections past, I think the swing was different, but I do think that this time around more, way more independents and even former third party type people really swung to the Republican side this time because just of how fucking crazy some things were that were coming off the left side. And I agree, there's extremists on both sides, and in those extremes there are dangers. It doesn't matter if it's left extreme or right extreme. If it's too extreme, well, then it's too fucking extreme. But there was just, dude, like there was insane shit that doesn't like that the average person couldn't even wrap their head around and go, oh, I could see how this might even make sense, even in a third alternate world. Like, you know what I mean? No.
Look.
And I think the things they tried to make people fear, there were people had enough common sense to realize that it can't happen. At least not the way they're trying to say it could happen.
But the way this Trump derangement syndrome is coming across, it sounds worse than Alec Jones with his they're turning the frogs gay thing, right? Like you're just looking at him going, hey, you're not okay.
With that.
Right? Like that's the thing is, if you want to have a debate, right? If you want to have a debate, because look, bro, I have healthcare. You guys should have healthcare. There's no question. Hey, it should be all in your tax. You pay more than enough. You pay more taxes now than at any time in history, and you still don't have healthcare. What the fuck? That is a failure of government.
I agree with you on that. I do. That is something I have changed my opinion on as like Marco. Yes, I am an anarchist at heart, but I really truly do understand that like there's no way to just overnight become what that philosophy entails, right?
True.
But so you work with what you got and you try and like make steps, and you can't just, there's things like with I agree with thinning government and shutting things down and cutting some social programs, but you can't just overnight kick the crutches out from everybody either. You know what I mean? You got to build bridges and ladders, and then no, so to an extent, but like think of the wide range effect that could end up having on the economy overall. It's not just about the individual people. It's about the chaos theory. It's about how that hurricane picked up speed, even though it was over land, because it happens.
Let me say this. So let's be honest. What's the worst they can do?
The dinosaurs fucking made it on fucking Jurassic Park, homie.
But let's be honest, right? What's the worst they can do? Burn down the city? You've been through it for less reasons, and you know what? You're fine.
No. I'm saying you take all of the social, you just overnight eliminate all the social programs. So now you've got fucking literally starving children. Just because their parents are deadbeats doesn't mean that fucking infant doesn't need its fucking formula anymore.
I have a question.
Like, there's got to be a way to,
there's got to be a weaning period.
Thin this out to correct. But and I that's why I agree with you on the healthcare. But here's why we can't, because we're too busy running around the globe spending money to make money with our military.
Well, I don't even know if we're making money.
There are so many reasons.
It's about it's not about making money with the military. It's control.
Hey, and go research right now. Hey, research right now. I mean, the military grade ammunitions, rockets, shit like that. We
Yeah.
are getting orders left and fucking right. Our military industrial complex is fucking thriving. You know, our systems that shoot down other fucking countries' missiles. Do you know how many fucking orders have been placed for that since it's been put in operation? Like, yeah, they're fucking making bank right now.
But this
They're
is the whole
making
thing,
money.
right? But this is the idea, is that there is always a way. All you need is the idea, right? So look, the look, no child should ever hunger. Blanket statement. You know what? Good. Every school serves breakfast and lunch. Tomorrow, every school.
Agreed.
And you know what?
100 fucking %.
And that's the thing is, I really believe, Jared, and this is I don't think America gets enough credit for how gangster they can be. Because you know what? You guys can't, like, no one's daring to flip the switch because of, well, what might, hey, do it. You know why? We've had enough. Do it. Every school has a kitchen. Every school, good. Now you're serving, hey, they don't have to pay. Do it. It's now part of your budget. Done. Why? Because it's the right, like,
100.
there has to be, once again, we have to get back. I'm saying it for Canada too. We have to get back to, hey, that's something where we shouldn't be nickel and diming, right? Look, profitable education is bullshit.
100.
Profitable healthcare is bullshit. And big pharma is absolute bullshit. Three things that, listen, can you imagine? Let's be honest, there are huge advancements in cancer treatments, dementia treatments, mental health treatments. And everyone goes, yeah, but it's expensive and we're not really making money on curing things. So let's just keep people sick. Hey, hung from the rafters with that attitude. That's not going to work. You can't
100.
be keeping people sick and then saying, well, it's just business. I'll show you business. My fist up your fucking ass. That business. It isn't why people voted for Trump to stop the industrial military. No. It's to, it's to make it more gangster. Because listen, I still love that example of Trump meeting with the head of Al Qaeda and going, bro, one American hair. This is your house. It's going to be a crater. You choose, and bounces.
Just walked
That's
out.
gangster. That is gangster at the
But
highest
a lot
level.
of these libtards out here, that was the most ignorant, racist, whatever the fuck
Listen.
shit our president could have done. That's
Bro,
what a
he-
real
You
fucking
want to
leader
know where
does.
America you want to know where America you want to know where America missed the fucking boat for a fucking president? It was with fucking Ross Perot.
Oh,
That
100%.
motherfucker
He was
crazy as
right.
fuck.
I agree.
He was right. He was right. And bro, they
He got his
railroaded him.
own dudes back. Remember when he hired mercenaries to go get his fucking people back?
Bro,
The
I
government said, we're
remember.
not going to negotiate. We're not going to handle this. He said, I got this, homie.
Yep.
He
Hey.
stroked a check and sent some fucking mercenaries over to get his fucking people back.
I remember Jim Carrey doing an impression of Ross
Have
Perot
that
on In Living Color, where he's like, I'm on this
It-
channel too. You can't
Oh
get
my
away from me.
God.
I'm Ross Perot. You're like, bro, this guy's gay. I loved it.
He did
And
a
he was
great
right.
job on that
He
one.
was he's so good.
He did,
But he was right. And you know what? That would have, like, technically, that is basically Trump before Trump, right? Like, he was the first where he's like, no, I'm just a businessman.
Yeah.
I don't know what's right. You guys are out of control. Somebody's got to step in. And they railroaded him until he died. That's not right.
Yeah, they did.
Yep. Listen, I was going a couple years ago. We were going through a whole bunch of like VHS shit we had found, and I had taped back when I was a kid. Back in the 80s, when I was a kid, I had taped the
that's when
Transformers
full
movie
Bush
that
was
came on
still in
TV.
effect.
Yeah.
The one where Optimus Prime died.
Yeah.
Passed on the Allspark.
1986, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still got a VHS of that
Okay.
somewhere.
During a commercial, I taped it
Yeah.
off of television. So during a commercial, I lived in Houston, and during a commercial for the 11 o'clock news, they were running one of their teasers, and it was H. Ross Perot when he was on the board of directors for General Motors. And he said, this company is so poorly managed that it's going to end up bankrupt, and I'm not going to be a part of it. They're not going to listen to me, so I fucking quit. And that's when he resigned from being
bro.
On the board of directors, and look what happened to Mike. Look what happened to General Motors over the years. He was right. Now, when you have that much international cash flow, it takes a while to catch up with you.
Sure.
But he was 100% right. He could see it way back then. He was like, fuck y'all, I'm out.
Well, listen, that comes back to like on a side note where the people are like, oh, we're trying to use AI to replace workers. And you're like, you know what AI is great for? To replace CEOs. That's statistically, they're like, there is the smallest effect on a company's profitability is who the CEO is. And a CEO is like, oh, well, I work 24 hours a day. Okay, good. Yeah, let a computer do it. It will do a better job than any CEO in history. And the fact is, you ain't got to pay it. So why are you trying to replace the workers? No, replace the guy at the top. You know why? Because he ain't doing a good job. Every one of them guys are just like, oh, I'm dying to leave my mark. And get the hell out of here. Try doing your job. Right? That's bottom line.
I absolutely agree with you on that. All of that.
I'm very smart and good looking.
100%. I hate the,
No, look, this is the time. And look, I said this when it was Trump versus Hillary. I'm like, neither is a good candidate. But I'll tell you this much. If Trump goes off the rails, he'll be held accountable. If Hillary does, nothing will happen. And that was factual. And you know what? Right now, too. Yes. Hey, I still don't think Trump's a good person. But I'll tell you what. If he says something, I kind of believe it. Whatever he says, he's not lying. Whereas everything that came out of Kamala Harris' mouth, baloney. Why would I elect somebody that is lying to my face and it's not even a good lie?
What about when she ran two different ads the same day, one to the Jews and one to the Muslims? They were totally opposite of each other.
That's not.
Nobody was gonna catch on.
That's not leadership. That's not. You can't lead like that. So why would you give her the highest office? Better idea. We all buy an AI plantation and make. I mean, maybe. It doesn't. That's that. I feel bad for the people who are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome because they're crying and stuff. And I'm like, why are you? You don't know him. He can't. He's not in your house touching your wiener. Just calm down. Just relax.
I mean, honestly, if I would have woke up this morning and Kamala Harris was the president, I'd have been like, damn.
That sucks.
I'd have went to the shelter like I always do. I'd have did my work. I'd have came home.
You lied. You would have tried.
See,
you would have tried.
And that has literally been my attitude over every fucking presidential election since I have been old enough to vote. And I'm like, there's not one single of these ding dong dickheads that literally represents me. And
100%.
I vote for very few things when I do participate in voting. And it's almost always exclusively at the local level.
I was going to say is because of the abundance of liberal tears, Jared, you being a chef, maybe you should try and find a way to turn that into like a seasoning. It's seasoned with liberal tears. It'll be a little salty, but good.
Just a little salty.
Like we could do the whole dehydrating. Hey, like we can do the whole salt process.
Bro, can you imagine?
Like
the steak is seared with a little salt of liberal tears.
Where they do the, I've been to a salt farm where they do it, where they flood the bed with seawater, and then they evaporate it all out, and you're just left with this field of crystals. So I mean,
they make meth that way too.
I mean, same effect. Same effect. It's fine.
Same effect. I do not.
No, bro.
I do not endorse smoking liberal tear crystals.
You never know.
I might put a little on the blunt.
It might be the new bath salt.
I'm just saying I don't endorse bath salts either.
Look, my thing is this: is like this is the way I look when people
there's
start
nothing
crying.
About a drug.
No,
there's nothing about a drug when I hear about it in the headlines where people go, oh, I got naked and crawled on top of my homie and stripped him naked and tried to eat his face off. That makes me want to go down to the store and buy that shit. Not one goddamn part of that story makes me interested in that fucking drug.
I mean, I'm not interested, but I have questions. You know, like just,
I don't.
you know,
That answered all of mine.
say
You don't need
this
the
is-
tutorial. He wants to see the
I want to
manual.
know. I want to know what's going on. I want to know the nickels and dimes of it. I gotta figure it
That
out. But like,
look, that back of the DVD description wasn't enough to tell you what the movie was about.
well, it's that description where it's like by award-winning producer. You're like, this movie's gonna suck. You're like, all these people have awards. You should love it. If you don't, you're gay. You're like, I'm not. No, that's not factual. That's bullshit.
Bro, it was filmed in the bathroom at Circle K. There's no award-winning nothing.
I'd probably watch that first. I'll be honest with you. You're like, Circle K, they got good toilet paper. I'll watch that. That's fair.
They got the double ply.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
I feel like that would be like that's the new cinema, right? Like, come on. I don't know. It's
Right. That's the new cinema. The bathrooms at Circle K. Although, bro, I had
why not?
One of my managers came back. I had a manager come back and go, now I just came back from the bathroom and I have to ask you a question. And I went, I don't
It's
know.
that big. Yeah.
Okay, what? And he goes, now, when I walked in, there were two guys at the back facing me, and one guy with his back to me with his pants around his ankles. And when I walked in, those two guys that were facing me kind of did the whole, and the guy who was with his back to me with his pants down kind of like jumped between them two, but past them, you know what I mean? Like pulling his pants up, and then they like all kind of turned around and scooted out of the bathroom. He goes, now, what do you think was going on in there? And I went, I'm not going to think about it. I have no answer.
Sales pitch. Definitely a sales pitch.
Sales pitch. I'm like, I don't, I was like, I had to pee, but I'm not.
Not anymore.
The broil cook just held it the rest of the night. We didn't trust going in the bathroom. We didn't know what was going on.
100%. Yeah, it just went back in. It's beta males and blue-haired feminists finally being told no for the first time. Like this is the wild part. Is that's basically it. Right? Like,
have you seen some of the meltdown
there's
videos?
a lot of that.
Hey, they're more delicious than pie. I'm sorry. They are tastier than the Halloween candy I've been eating. I'll just factually.
The
so
one
tasty.
that pisses me off though is the one of Joy Reid that keeps going around.
I
of her
lucked out.
saying
I
that
stayed
it's
away.
white women's fault. Dude, that fucking
Bro.
like she before even the whole thing where I was talking about the polls and shit being all over the fucking internet and news. When Joy Reid came out and said that shit, you are sitting next to two white women. These motherfuckers probably were the ones that gave you your job. What the fuck is wrong with you,
bro? This is the problem that with everything is that you're like people are being hired because you're like,
okay, listen,
well they have good vibes.
Like,
no, they don't. Bunch of assholes.
Let me tell you, I work in a kitchen, right?
Yeah.
If you look at it on a racial basis,
yeah,
I am the minority. If you look at it on a criminal record basis, I'm right there with everybody. Like, 'cause it's either immigrants or felons, and if you have a combination, you're like golden. You're probably going to be the kitchen manager really soon. But like that's it. That's what the restaurant business runs off of.
Yeah,
everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Every city in every state in this fucking country, that is what your restaurant business runs on. Most of your hospitality industry.
True.
That's how Donald Trump got the job at McDonald's
with the felony part, because they don't let felons clean hotel rooms. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. But like, so kitchens.
Yeah.
But
they don't work the front counter,
like,
but they're in the back.
We've
That's
had
fine.
this talk before.
They're at the window.
Do you know? First of all, I want to say, do you know how? And so I know some people here have a kitchen experience and stuff, but like those that don't, not only it's this weird nutshell of real life, wherein the most racist things are said.
Yeah.
But it is the most non-racist environment you could ever be in.
100%. Because it has nothing to do. Hey, it has
we're
more
all
to do
just
with camaraderie. Yeah,
we are
it's
all just
camaraderie.
homies.
Yeah.
But we dog the fuck out of each other.
As you should.
Like, so it doesn't exist. That is what it is like in most real life situations. That is still what it's like in most real life situations around. There are pockets and both ways. There's of all ways, not just both ways. Like go into ethnic communities where you have two different, I don't even know the fucking proper fucking terms anymore, but where you have two different Asian peoples fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Your people bombed your people.
The fuck out of each other.
100%. Bro, it's
like there is more racism outside of the United States than there is inside of the United States.
Oh, for sure.
And it's just because people don't travel and know this shit. You go to other countries, and
the people in other countries, American is a race.
Especially, wait a second, especially over. Guess who's one of the biggest? All those people in Ukraine and those surrounding countries.
Oh, super racist.
Those Eastern European folks.
Super racist. No question.
Like they can make me blush with some of the shit they say.
I had to explain this. I'm like, bro, outside of North America, everyone's racist.
It's not that bad here.
No, but everyone else just doesn't care.
Literally.
They're like, okay. You're like, I haven't heard that one. You got me. That's funny.
Right.
But if you're like, oh, I won't hire you because you're this person. Oh, then you're a piece of shit. I don't want to work for you anyway. That's fine.
Oh, absolutely. 100. And you should be able to punch that motherfucker right in the face and still get your job.
Just saying. It's a weird world. I want to see what happens. That's all I want. I want to see what happens. And I want people to not have
I really do too.
What? No. What?
Well,
I'm gonna have to look into this. This is some shit I just came across on Yahoo News. It says, "Can Donald Trump run for president in 2028?" This is what the Constitution says, and it reads out the first part of the Constitution, which we all know of, and that no, he cannot. But then they're starting to talk about there was an amendment passed, and somehow, some way, he might be able to run again. No, that's bullshit. And even if it is, no. Donald Trump gets to take everybody else.
I want to read this myself.
Yeah.
What amendment are they trying to say this is? Because I want to look this up myself.
Let me find my glasses. Wait a minute.
It's probably something they were trying to use for Biden. Get him a third term.
Let me make sure I'm reading this right. I see the 2-term limit was set by after Franklin Roosevelt was elected to 4 terms as a president, and he died in 45 shortly after his 4th term. The 22nd Amendment says no person shall be elected to office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held office of the president or acting president 2 terms. Yeah, we all know that. Constitutional amendments can be repealed, but it's a difficult process. Any proposed amendment. So they're trying to imply that he could repeal the amendment.
That he would try it.
I have a question. I have a question.
So I read that wrong in the first place.
I have a question.
Jesus Christ. Come on, people.
Marco, do you shop at a special store, or do you just steal all your glasses from old women? Which is like, do you just walk up to grandma's and be like, that's mine now? Like,
actually, I got a set of glasses to match each one of the ones.
Fair. I just want to know.
He hits the lost and found at Perkins, IHOP, and
you'll get some good stuff. You'll get new gloves, new glasses. That's fair. That's good. Maybe a hat. It's nice. Good.
Marco's the reason why old lady can't
everyone's
I lost my glasses. Some Puerto Rican gentleman just walked up and took them off the place.
There took my glasses, Sonny.
And you're like, nah, these are my glasses. Gangster. No. 2-term limits are pretty dumb. Once you've done something for 8 years, you're probably so that's the other thing is there's no job that can prepare you to be the president of the United States, right? And like I honestly think that there should be a better apprentice program than VP, because VP is a totally different job.
Better to do the apprentice, the president style apprentice. Donald Trump.
Oh,
You got wait a second. You got to see.
Can
how
you
some-
imagine
no,
if he
it
still
depends on
starts
how some of
firing,
these
like,
VPs.
all the fucking
Bro,
people for
bro, it depends on how
2028
some
are
of
up,
these
and he just
VPs
starts
were
firing
used.
them.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, especially during Bush Jr. Bush Jr. was used to get Dick Cheney in a position of power.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Dick Cheney's
Oh,
the one who ran the show, not Bush Jr. Bush Jr. was just a figurehead. So, like some of these VPs, because nobody would have elected Dick Cheney as president.
no. It's like
It just
giving
wouldn't
the
happen.
devil.
So you get Bush in there with Dick. Right.
Dude, they had a
Right.
Family Guy thing where
You know,
the
Mr.
devil was, like,
Halliburton
answered the phone
himself.
for Dick Cheney. He's like, "Yes, sir."
They put Mr. Halliburton at the head of the country, bro. That's how blatant they were with it. That right there should prove to everyone you are
Didn't
just
Cheney
getting
shoot
fucked.
somebody at a deer
Like, they
hunt?
didn't
Like
even
everybody
In the
was
close
there.
face, bro. His
Yeah,
own
I thought
friend
they were
in the
hunting.
face. Like,
In
I
the
kind of
face,
support it,
dog.
but, you know, it's
He
a little much.
probably, man, I bet it depends. He might have said something stupid. We don't know the real facts.
I get
Yeah,
it.
and,
He could have
and
said
the
something
Secret
about his
Service
wife
got
or
to
his
shut the
mama.
fuck up.
I mean, it's wild.
Can you imagine the shit that these motherfuckers see and the fucking can you imagine the shit
Oh,
that they just have to shut the fuck
you
up
you
about?
notice you never hear of a Secret
listen,
Service agent
listen,
retiring
listen,
or any of that.
I have never obviously had any connections
True.
with high up officials, but listen, once upon a time,
no, really?
like national officials, but once upon a time, I was in a service where I would deliver things to certain people, and it would amaze me how many of them were lawyers, judges,
Definitely.
commissioners, you know, leaders in the community, elected officials in the
Allegedly.
community. And so, no, they were elected officials.
No, you allegedly did this
Maybe
shit.
what I delivered was legal. I don't know.
Are
Bro,
you
it's
guys?
way past-
Hey, are you
it's
guys
way
going on
past
for a
statute
while?
of limitations, dog. And I'm not
Yeah.
giving anything specific,
Yeah? Okay.
anyways. But listen,
I'm gonna be
so
back.
I know if it happens in my county, I know for a fact it happens at higher levels and probably even worse. Because the higher up the chain you go, the looser your morals have to be.
Yep, I agree.
You
I
want
agree.
to be a billionaire? You better get rid of every single fucking moral scruple you have, because there is no way to become an actual billionaire without fucking people over. Millionaire, sure, you can still be a good person and have a fuckload of money. Don't get me twisted. But to have so much money that you can fuck people over means you did to get there.
Oh my goodness.
What are we looking at now?
Oh, they're trying
I
to
think
say
we're just waiting on Dino to come back.
no, they're one of the headlines is you're a Trumper's wife supporting Harris in secret. I mean, like, Pete, these headlines are just trying to stir the pot.
Oh,
Abortion rights ballot measure passed in 7 states, fails in 3 others. See, now look.
Listen,
That's a
here's where the
constitutional
entire
amendment.
Democratic Party.
What? Say that again.
Oh, I was going to say here's where the entire Democratic Party went wrong. One, the way they spun Harrison into there, but what they did was they made this national push for their candidate because of abortion. That was their big thing, right? Where they missed the boat. And I'm going to tell you right now, 100 fucking %. It doesn't matter what my personal opinion on abortion is, what my moral stance on abortion is. It doesn't matter. Nor am I going to share it, because it doesn't fucking matter. You know what does matter? That it's not the government's business at fucking all. Period. That's not a discussion for the government to be in. But where they missed the boat, and where literally the Supreme Court was correct in pushing it back down to the states. That is a state's issue. So fuck the president. You should have got your fucking senators and congressmen in there.
Right.
If you wanted that protected in your state, you needed to vote at the state level. You needed to affect change at your state level, which is where it belongs.
Right.
Period.
And you know,
Period.
and I'm glad you brought up
with that cause. Politically, I agree with that cause. They should have done it the right fucking way. That's the problem. People don't want to do shit the right fucking way. Right and wrong doesn't mean legal or illegal. It doesn't mean, you know what I mean? Like right and wrong is right and wrong. You just do it the right way. Sometimes laws are right. Sometimes they're not. But like,
and that's what people don't realize.
Yeah,
and
that's where they
that's one of the things that I got a problem with in the election. The biggest issue I have is I was always, you know, no matter who the president was, when it comes down to the House and the Senate, you know, you always get more done if you have both, you know, House and Senate. But it's always one-sided, and somebody always gets power hungry. So I was always, you know, even in the last election when, you know, oh, you lost the House, but you gained the Senate. I don't want them both. And the problem is now the Republicans do have them both.
Have both.
And I hate to say they do have the potential of doing some of this fuck shit that people are scared of. And that is the one thing that
they absolutely
like
do.
You know, because
they absolutely
and the reason why I say that is because I watch for 4 years.
They're not always known for being like they
do
like
the same goddamn thing to Trump and fucking Juju, whatever fuck shit they wanted. The Republicans pretty much had no say because no matter if all the Republicans voted, they were still outnumbered by the Democrats who had say over both houses.
Right.
So that right there is some fuck shit.
Right.
Neither one of them should have both houses. That should be a fucking rule right there. That, you know, you have, if maybe you got all the fucking seats of the Republicans, maybe you got a less, whatever, you know, make it fucking even and roll about it that way. If somebody wants to,
I don't know. I don't know how to go about making. I don't know how to go about making rules about that. I really don't. That's also not something I've given much thought to. Past the fact
like
that I agree with you, I've always
Court.
agreed with that. That the ideal government setup for us, ideally under the way we work, is if you have a Republican president, like you want the variety, you want
right.
This,
so
you know, so you have those checks and balances, and then so you truly get the best of both worlds and can try and filter out the fucking bullshit from both sides, because both sides have got good ideas about different things. Both sides have bullshit about a lot of things, like, you know. So if you could, that'd be great. But I don't know how to legislate. How would you legislate that? Like, that's a.
I think if say I don't remember what the number of the seats on each one. One's a ridiculously more amount than the other. But you just say there's 100 people over on one side, there's 100 people over in the other. That's it. Or how many, or however many there are. I know they do it by electoral votes and how many people are in the state or whatever. Not that you want to stop that issue. You want to stop people whining about that and the whole electoral vote thing. You fucking make 100 here, or whatever number you want to pick, and that's it. That's it. That is fucking it. There's an even amount of people. You got your even amount of Democrats. You got your even amount of Republicans. Maybe some Democrats want to vote with the Republicans.
Okay, so we still vote for them, right? We still vote for them.
Right.
But the top Democrat and top Republican from each state go. That way each has two.
Right.
I mean, that's a plausible way of doing it. I mean, off the top of our heads, I mean, you obviously
I'm
check
sure
it out more, but I mean, it's a plausible way of doing it.
There would be some
bam, there you go. That brings up the whole. And that brings up the whole like ranked choice voting. idea instead of the way we have it now, where primaries and all this, like, okay, you got all the motherfuckers up there, right? Like all of them, all the like all, however many Republicans, however many Democrats, you got a couple libertarians, you got a couple Green Party, you got a couple what do they call themselves? There's a Constitution Party, there's a handful of these little like sideline, there's little
and I feel like there should be a libertarian party too, and they should have the equal amount or whatever also.
There is
no, I mean an equal amount.
So
we all know there's a couple.
What the idea with ranked choice
there,
then what the idea with ranked choice is then, so you vote, everybody votes, and you vote for whoever you want to, the one person you want to. Well, then what they do is the top, however many people, those people move on.
So it's
then
like
everybody votes again on those people. And then until it's shrunk down, it's like a reality show. You shrink it down until you're left with however many you need. If it's for president, it's one. They also say that the way you do that is when you have the final two, the top vote is the president, the bottom vote is the vice president, regardless of party. Also. So you technically could end up with a Republican president and VP, or vice versa. You could have both as a Democrat, or you could end up with it mixed one way or the other, just depending on how the voting went.
Right. And how hard is that for two fucking stoners to come up with in 10 minutes, people?
I don't think that's an unreasonable way of doing it.
No,
and I do believe that
they very often me and Jared agree upon something, let alone come together with a fucking idea. But Jesus Christ,
not only does that build in checks and balances, but it builds in some integrity as well.
Right.
And then you're not locked into voting party lines. You're not locked into a vote not counting. Plus, then you're not doing this electoral vote bullshit. Because we've seen plenty of time where someone wins the electoral and not the popular.
Exactly.
And that never sits well with me, because that means my vote doesn't count. That means my vote doesn't actually count.
Thank goodness
and neither does yours. It's an illusion.
I mean,
okay, this time he did, but I'm not debating that. I mean, he did absolutely, but that's not always the case.
Right.
I thought
with ranked choice voting,
this is like the first time in fucking decades that's happened.
So see, look, they can count everybody's individual vote, right? You notice they have the technology and the capability to actually be able to count my vote, but my vote doesn't actually count.
Like, I thought felons aren't allowed to vote, though.
Felons in Ohio, felons it's state by state.
That's one thing I was thinking about too. Because they never showed Trump fucking going to the ballot box or nothing. They showed Kamala Harris sending hers in, but they never showed Trump sending in the ballot.
Felons in Ohio are allowed to vote as long as they're not incarcerated. They're allowed to be on probation. They're allowed to be ex-cons. They're allowed to be on like CCA, like living in a halfway house, anything like that. As long as they are not in a prison, they're allowed to vote.
That's another big misconception that everybody fucking thinks
is that way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So Dino,
and that's bullshit.
Me and Jared came up with a government in fucking 5-10 minutes.
Different election laws vary from state to state.
I want to hear it. Tell me, Marco.
So instead of going by electoral votes or whatever, you have a certain amount. Say there's three fucking teams there. You got your Libertarian Party, your Democrats, and your Republicans. Each one has 100 seats, or however many they determine they need. You would you call it fucking rank voting?
Yeah. Okay.
Rank choice voting.
Yeah, you do rank choice voting. Pretty much is like just like a fucking reality show. You get voted off the fucking island.
Yeah.
Until you get the best two. And now if we're going for Congress, then you fill the seats up that way. Your best two representatives from each state go take a seat. Then you take it for presidency. You do the same thing, however many they are. And when you get the last two, the one with the most votes gets president. The one with the second votes is vice president. Whether it's a Democrat and a Republican, whether it's two Democrats, whether it's two Republicans, it's the last two. The last two. I mean,
last two standing.
See, that's the whole problem with a two-party system is that you have backdoor deals that happen between both parties, and you're going, well, no.
Well, that's why
that
we
shouldn't
said
be a
it's
limitation,
open.
right?
It's
Yeah.
open.
Yeah. It should be like, what's
It's
my
open. That's not a
personal
limitation.
thing, right?
It's not two-party now, so we open
Yeah.
it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if you start with 100 options for president. Okay, I don't give a fuck.
Yep,
You go
there's
through the first round,
365
the
days
top
in the year. We
50,
can do one
move
every
on to the
day.
next round. Then you
Yeah.
knock it down to 25. Then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
knock it down to 12.
You see how
Then you
quick
knock
a
it down to
season of
6,
fucking
then
who's
you
the
knock it down to 3, then
Who's
you knock
Got
it down to
Talent
2.
or all that shit goes by.
And then
No, that's it. Like, look, that's the real problem
right,
is
and they
there's so many
space that
systems
out
in place.
weekly. Like you could literally have it done in 2 days of voting.
Survivor
you
style.
people who
I like
wanna
it.
Do it by your phones. You can even vote 5 phones. Text 1-900-Trump.
You got to get her. You still got to get around
Bro, Garbage Island is gangster.
1-900. That shows where you. That shows you, bro. 1-900. How's the
Bro.
weather where you're at, big boy?
Is your island covered with trash?
Bro, it was a funny joke. I don't care.
I think it was funny too. People keep
It
asking me
was.
about that. They're like, he said your Puerto Rico's covered. Well, if you want to get factual,
It
motherfucker,
was.
Puerto Rico has an issue with landfills and
It
garbage
is.
and no recycling, especially after the last fucking hurricane that their own fucking government went and pocketed the money over. All right, there. I'm glad he said something because just like the cats and dogs, he brought attention to the fucking problem.
They're turning the frogs gay, bro. It's just how it is. It's just
You know that was real, right?
I know. That's the best. Listen, that's the best part about all of this is you're like, it doesn't. I feel like people have forgotten how to critically think en masse, right? And that's like, listen, regardless of how things are delivered, right? You should be able to take the information and actually go, hold on, let me go check this out. Oh my God, they are turning the frogs gay.
Everybody's holding a fucking computer in their hand.
Yeah.
Even the illegals, they're giving them to them.
I've said that for.
Bro, I remember. Hey,
Right, you
I
don't even have
remember.
to buy it, bro.
Hey, when Bill Clinton was in office, they were saying how the president of the United States gets a brief every day, and he has access to the most information on the planet. However, as soon as the BlackBerry came out, a homeless person that had a BlackBerry in Africa
Had the same amount
now
of
had the
information.
same access as the president of the United States. And you know what? It's about time they get afraid about that. But people don't use it. People don't know. People don't take the time to go, hey, maybe does that even make sense?
The universe is at people's fingertips and they don't even realize it.
Do some mushrooms. You'll figure it out. Take, easy.
DMT.
I feel like it should be a Mick DMT
Hey, you know
just
what we need
to
do a follow-up
for
show
marketing.
What?
on?
Bro.
Was that your
it's
conscience
been
in the
bugging me just
background? I heard
because
the conscience say your
I
mom.
saw.
It was like Jiminy fucking
It
Cricket.
was the lag. It was supposed to go with the.
Hmm.
But I did some research because somebody's post was brought to my attention by Facebook, and it was a reminder of the conspiracy theory behind the fires in Hawaii and how it was a land grab.
Right.
Yeah.
So I started doing some research about what has happened there. And virtually no property has exchanged hands in that area.
Oh, really?
Like
Because it
none.
was already owned by the
There's been some people that have bought outside of the area, hoping that it builds up. But there have been the few transactions that have happened have been local to local.
That's a good thing.
That's all easily trackable too, because it's public.
Yeah.
House sales are public. Like it's real easy to look up.
No,
So
that's fair.
I'd like to do we need to do a follow-up on some of these conspiracy theories about all these natural events that have happened that everybody has claimed has been something else. And we need to do a follow-up and we need to confirm which ones were right and which ones were wrong.
We got to put
Sure, why
together
not?
a list. Here's one
Because I'm
for
not
you,
saying
one
they're
of the
all
headlines.
bullshit.
I was,
But
I
I'm
was
just
hoping
saying,
to see
we
this
always
shit.
hear all this. We always hear everybody screaming, "The sky is falling! The sky is falling!"
So,
Oh,
here's
yeah.
one.
Birds aren't real and lizard people, 100%. Yeah, no question.
The View Whoopi Goldberg. This is what she's telling people to do to avoid stress of the election day.
Not be retarded?
Get rolling papers.
Smoke
Joy
a
Behar
fatty
told
and don't
people to
pay
get weed gummies.
attention.
That's what I did.
Bro.
These people are fucking. Look, I'm thinking the way they wrote this headline says the View, Whoopi encourages people to get some
You know what I
papers
did today?
to avoid election
I'm
day.
down.
I'm thinking she's talking about the illegals
I did
fucking
the
getting
same-
papers
you
to
know what I
stay
did?
here.
Right? Bro.
No, bro.
Hey.
That would have been a smarter
Listen,
choice.
listen.
Tell these people to get the papers so they can stay.
I have literally, bro, there's no way in fuck that. I mean, you got a better chance of hooking up with Taylor Swift than that happening. Okay, homie.
I mean, she's due for a breakup. She
that's
needs a
not
new
really
hit album.
hard.
Yeah, but Marco's going to be the rebound guy.
Right.
Fucking
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Fucking right.
He'll treat her right. He'll give her a fucking
At this point, she's done with. At this point, she's done with boyfriend issues. She's moved on to daddy issues. Marco, you're right there.
bro, she'll have a Grammy nominated album after the breakup song with Marco.
In Ohio.
No question. Right?
I'll be famous just for her talking shit about me on an album.
100%. And then he pulled out these chickens. The son of a bitch.
Right. And she'll like do a she'll do a collab with like J-Lo or something.
Right? It's not The View, it's PU, bro. I thought Whoopi Goldberg had left The View. What happened with that?
He honked his cock in my face.
Oh, as one does.
Yeah,
That'd be like that
beyond
chick
that
bitching
time.
about fucking Marilyn Manson doing sadistic shit to her. Bitch, it's Marilyn Manson. You knew who he was when you started
No
fucking
shit.
A morally
Listen,
upstanding citizen, of course.
I am never an advocate. Really, I'm really not for victim blaming because it's not
a little
cool.
bit.
But there are some things that people like. Even in my life, I can look back and go, "Well, sure, technically on paper, I was a victim, but if I wouldn't have took my dumb ass there, it wouldn't have fucking happened.
I mean,
Like it's my fault it happened, bro."
Yeah, this
Like-
chick,
Like, it's
it
really
ain't like
easy
you
to say
didn't
that.
know
I don't know why that's hard for
was
people.
fucking Marilyn Manson.
Listen,
You
there
didn't
are
see the
situations.
video.
There are situations where that doesn't happen, but the one that blows my mind, okay, is the fucking Ron Jeremy one. Like, you know who the fuck this guy is.
Oh my God, yes.
You know who the fuck this guy is. You know what the fuck he does.
If you don't know him, you know his cock. His cock is just as famous.
also true.
It's more famous. He's stunt cocked before.
Yeah.
His dick has more credits than he does.
I mean,
His dick has an IMDb.
It probably does. It probably that'd be fucking hilarious.
It's got an 88 on Rotten Tomatoes.
An 88 on Rotten Tomato. Jesus Christ.
fair. It's accurate.
There's some things that it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I knew better than to go to certain parties, but I went anyways, and I can't blame anybody but me for what happened.
Bro, but that's
I know I
listen, but
shouldn't
that's
put my cock in his mouth, so I can't really blame him for sucking it.
like
It
that's
doesn't have to be even be sexual, man. Like, what the fuck?
two things
I feel
is
like Jared was at a Diddy party.
oh Jesus. Hey, accountability and critical thinking is just
I would've
two
shot a
individual
motherfucker.
things that would change everything. And people just need to get on board. They just need to start holding themselves accountable and actually take the time to take, 2 seconds to think about something if it makes sense or not, right?
That's it, man. I mean, fuck. And don't be jackasses to people. Keep your views to your fucking self. If somebody else don't think the same way you do, so fucking what? Go about your goddamn day.
bro.
And I've told this to quite a few people, but I mean, this is the way me and Rob Coleman, the comedian, a man who I respect very much. This is the conversation that, you know, me and him had the first time we met. He looked at me and because he's heard shit that I've said online, and he's like, Mark, it doesn't bother you if somebody calls you a spick or a this or that. No, it doesn't. If you let something as meaningless or as stupid as a word ruin your day, let it sit and fester in your mind, then what kind of man does that make you? What does that fucking mean? How fucking weak are you to be, you know, I mean, depending on the context, you might want to throw hands, but after that's done, it's not going to sit there. It's not going to make me not want to go to work or make me feel oppressed or make me, the dude pissed me off. He said some ignorant shit.
All right. It's not the first. It's not the last. People say ignorant shit all the time.
Yeah, I mean, don't be dicks.
And it happens every day. I mean, fuck.
Come on, man.
You know, the game's over. The football game is over. Finish your popcorn up. Finish your shots. If you got a bitch in the bed, go take care of. And bitch could be a dude now. If you got a bitch in the bed, go take care of that shit. And, you know, go to work tomorrow. You're going to be fine. Ladies, you're going to be fine. People of color, you're going to be fucking fine. Trans people,
Probably
you
better
might
off.
not be in school, but everybody else, you're going to be fucking fine.
Why were you in school in the first place? That's ridiculous.
Well,
You
that's what I'm
were
saying.
on a roll, Marco, and then might be
Well,
good, might be a shit.
They were going to take all the woke shit out of the schools. So that means no litter boxes in the schools anymore. No,
dude, I'm definitely getting rid of them shits.
Yeah, all that, you know, fuckery. I mean, you're fine to do whatever you do on the outside. You're American.
Do it at home.
Yeah, you're American.
Do it at home. Do it at home. Like
I'm
kinks are
sorry.
meant to be done in private for a fucking reason. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not for public display for a motherfucking reason.
Right.
Bro.
All right. So we
Period.
got about
Plain and fucking
15 more
simple.
minutes, and
Be
I'm
a
gonna end
fucking
this
weirdo.
show. I got something that I actually told Dino about that he was unaware of, and then he brought, you know, he started talking about it and looking into it. But Dino, have you heard any more about the honor killing?
Have at it.
in
I give you
Canada?
full permission.
So the whole thing
Video
is
it
that
though.
Yeah.
Video it.
I want to
Yeah.
seize it.
Right.
the
I need to see it.
this is so Southeast Asia is notorious for honor killings, right? And also the Middle East. And the fact is that we have had a massive influx of people from Southeast Asia in Canada to the point where they've already started saying that's the N-word. So the fact is that they're like things are happening here that are insane, right? And it's completely overwhelming for communities to the point where they're having celebrations on the street, taking over an entire neighborhood, and you're like, you don't have a permit. Just rent a bank. You want to have a party? Good. Go have it at a banquet hall like everybody else. But why are you clogging up the street? So it's like people have moved here and just wanted exactly how it was back home. And you're like, yeah, no, get lost. So even now that's becoming an issue. And they're like, they're starting deportations. So we'll see.
Canada is starting
Here's
deportation.
the thing, like we have all had we have all had. I think we probably all had these discussions with people. But like when I have a discussion with somebody about who's on the far left side about refugees and undocumented peoples, whatever. Listen, you cannot go into any other country in this fucking world and just drain them dry. If you want to go there legally, guess what the process is? First of all, you have to prove almost every fucking country. You have to prove that you can come there and fully support yourself so that you will not be a drain on any of their resources.
Yep.
You also, especially most of the advanced countries, you have to usually get sponsored in by an employer. There has to be a need for what you know how to do that a local can't do.
Yep.
Why do we
Absolutely
throw
right.
that out the window here? Why the fuck do we just toss that philosophy out the window? It's not about not letting people in. I'm sorry. We all know. I don't give a fuck if you were born here and you're white. I don't give a fuck whatever. We all know there's fucking trash people. Like, that's where the big fucking bleeding heart liberals can't get honest and just say that trash fucking exists.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
But that's
It's
the
not
problem
a
with a
color
victim
thing.
mentality.
It's not a. Like,
You gotta
it exists.
that idea of a victim mentality.
You can't
As
let
the
that
longer it goes, the more people are going to treat you like a victim, and then you're gonna be a victim,
Right.
right? And that's why you're defending. People are
100.
being defended. People are defending other people, and then they're abandoning their own defenses of themselves. And you're like, yeah, you know what's going to happen? You're gonna get screwed. That's how life happens. You can't look. Even everyone's heard the saying: if you cry for everyone, there's gonna be no tears left for yourself. That's just life, man. Trash people.
100.
Right? It's just
I mean,
well, look, and if you go somewhere else and you want it to be just like your home, go home. That's crazy.
yeah. And why are you gonna bring the fucking
Right.
If
I
you
can't
move out
go.
the hood, you don't bring the hood to the fucking, the nice place you try to, come out. It just don't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. You come here to America. All right. So say you're illegal and you make it here anyways. All right. Well, you're here. Why in the fuck are you supposedly came here for a better life? You supposedly came here for opportunity, but you're going to be gangbanging in Central Park? The fuck?
I mean, I'm always up for a good gangbang, but
No, I don't mean that type of gangbang. But the whole reason why I even brought up the honor killings is because remember when I told you about the girl getting cooked in the oven at Walmart?
yeah, bro,
Yeah.
that was murder.
So they're talking about
They believe that. Yeah.
they're talking about one that couldn't have been locked. There could have been no way she was locked in there.
Yep.
Two, there was talks about it was a family member, namely her mom, who worked there.
Her mom was, I don't know, her mom was on the same shift.
Yeah. And there's also a 911 call from inside the oven. Yeah. And they're talking about it might as well be an honored fucking killing. They're looking at, like maybe she was that girl was knocked up, that brings disgrace to whatever fucking nation she's with or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Bro.
honor killing, is that a thing up in Canada? And that's when I talked to you about it. I'm like,
Abortions are legal in Canada.
Listen, hey, I remember when I was in high school, there was a girl who was a smoke show. Her parents found out that she was out there fucking a bunch of dudes, and they're like, okay, we're going to send you back to India and send her back. And her boyfriend, who she was fucking around on, was like, I'm going to go get her back. And everyone's like, bro, you're going to get killed. That ain't Canada. There are no rules. You're going to be dead.
Get off the fucking plane and say,
Yeah.
and you're gonna crawl back onto the plane.
And her boyfriend was like a nationally ranked kickboxer, and they were like, bro, you're gonna die as soon as you get off the plane if you go there for that. Like, don't put your nose in where it don't belong.
Nope. Enjoy the pussy while it lasted. Write her a couple letters here and there.
Everyone else did, might as well. Just saying. Right? But that's why. It's just one of those things. You can't. Things aren't the
damn
same,
Canadians. Right? You always want to save every puppy in the fucking pound, even every fucking hoe on the street. I could change her.
Oh, gross.
Marco should have been a Canadian.
Leave them on the street and just feed them dope.
Ridiculous.
All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up here. Dino, you got any shows coming up?
Bro, I'm officially fully monetized on YouTube, so I got a ton of shows. Woo! I have I'm doing a special on Saturday. I have Sundays, Generation Dan, which is talking about generational differences and me hating young people. That's fine. Mondays is Life of Giants. Tuesdays is Hammered and Cheese, which is dominating. And also, I'm starting to realize that Dino only dates minorities. Someone hide Marco. Okay. And then also we're starting another show that's going to be talking about finance and how to understand like bank accounts, credit cards, loans, lines of credit, like all that kind of stuff, mortgages, because I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but we're going to call it Make It Make Sense. So that's going to be coming. So go subscribe to this channel, Dino the Genetic Marvel, everywhere. And you can see all my stuff. But yeah, come check it out. I made $1.55 off my election episode yesterday. I am a gangster, baby. Whoop, whoop.
And we're gonna be start working on some more shows and some more content with Upside Down Studios. Big Sneeze is gonna have a show.
Yep.
We're gonna see what's going on with Ricky and Scotty and the whole crew. So we're gonna fill up this lineup once again soon. So I'll be looking for that in the new year. And like I said, man, y'all be kind to everybody. Quit being douchebags. I don't give a fuck who won.
For real.
From Upside Down Studios, we out.
Peace.